It's the 1-year anniversary for the Horrible Horror Podcast, and this week we're taking a trip back to episode 27, where we watched Killer Eye: Halloween Haunt, a movie that's basically an hour-long ad for another movie.
Yeah, which is a movie I want to watch.
We loved it, and here's a few of the things we had to say about it. This movie is a weird-ass category. Who knows what it really is? All we know is it's pretty awesome.
They had girls with great tits.
I watched this movie four times. I mean,
I think I'm speaking for all of us here when I say that, yes, it's so bad it's good.
so bad it's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna one up you. It's so bad, it's awesome.
I watched this movie four times. I mean, I hope not, because I'm holding out for the Killer Eye.
The long wait is over. We got our hands on the Killer Eye. Will it hold up to the hype? Who knows? Listen and find out, because we watched the Killer Eye. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Welcome, Moon Goons, to the 1-year anniversary show of the Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me is our we wanted an all-star panel, but some people couldn't make it, but we got pretty much our family here. Aaron Southworth, how you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing pretty good. This is our 1-year anniversary. I'm pretty surprised we've made it 1 year, but
Yep.
Here we are, hitting them, rocking, socking, episode a week. Man, loving it. Very happy to be here.
And our guest today is family member now, more than friend of the show, family member of the show, Mr. Chris Samples.
Gentlemen,
Chris, welcome back.
it's been a minute.
It has.
Glad to be back.
Chris was here. He was on the episode where we actually did the Halloween Haunt, so it was only
I sure
suitable
was.
that we brought him back for
Yes.
this movie.
Man, Halloween Haunt was such a pleasant little surprise.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
Totally was. Will this one hold up? We'll have to find out as we go. So like I said, we got our hands on the original, The Killer Eye, that inspired the Halloween Haunt movie. This movie was released on January 18th in 1999, and then The Killer Eye Halloween Haunt was like 2011, I think. was when it was
Right,
released.
right, something like
that's
that,
a
yeah.
huge gap.
Big
Big
gap.
time.
This movie is pretty much only found on disc at Amazon. We bought it.
Yeah,
I bought it for
and when you open it up, it says, there's no graphics on the disc. It's a white disc,
Label.
and it just says
It looks like a
Killer
Blu-ray,
Eye
yeah.
Director's Cut, and that's it.
Yeah.
Really?
You know?
No, mine has an eyeball on it.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the good
You
one.
got the good one. Mine had the same white
Yeah,
one,
it's
like
just a
bootleg
white
couch.
disc.
Well, thank you, Marshall, for saving me the good one.
You're good. It just like Halloween Haunt, it's also a very short movie. It's only got a 72-minute runtime.
Oh yeah.
And that's including the end credits, so it's even less than that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's written by Rolf Konevsky, Neil Marshall Stevens, and Matthew Jason Walsh, and directed by David DeCatio. I can't pronounce the last name, but he goes by the name Richard Chasen in this movie. This guy's directed 123. He's got 123 credits as a director
Good
alone.
God.
He's done a ton of shit. Some other things he's notable for, especially in the horror world, is he did Puppet Master 3 and a few other Puppet Master movies. Creepazoids and Leeches are some of his other bigger movies that
Oh,
people may have
leeches.
heard.
All
of.
right.
And of course, this being Full Moon, it was produced by Charles Band. The cast, really nothing to even talk about except for 2, maybe 3 people. First off, let's get this out of the way. Linnea Quigley is credited as being in this movie on IMDb, but she's nowhere in this movie. And I thought it's on IMDb it says archive footage, which means she's in the movie that they're watching the movie, but I'm like, that's not her.
That's what I was wondering.
Because
Yeah.
Linnea Quigley's tits aren't that big as this girl that we see in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's such a shitty shot, you
Yeah.
can't even tell.
Other than that,
Yeah,
Blake,
the TV was horrible.
Yeah.
Damn.
Blake Adams plays Creepy Bill. He's the only one other than the lead who really has done anything. He's got 34 credits to his name. Everybody else is pretty much, this is their one and done movie.
Really?
With the exception of the lead, Rita, played by Jacqueline Novelle. She's got 62 credits under her belt. She was in another low-budget horror movie called Head of the Family, which I'd like to be able to do on this show someday.
Head of the Family.
Head of the Family.
How much softcore has she done?
I was gonna say.
That was what I'm coming to. Because about half of her credits, especially in her early part of her career, is all like softcore porn, like tons and tons of softcore porn, with a few hardcore like masturbation scenes through in there. And she did that under the name Sarah St. John. So if you really want to look, they're out there. You can find her and find this.
I think I might do a little research after,
Right.
after we adjourn here, fellas.
Right.
But that's it for the cast. Otherwise, we're just jumping right in. We're going balls to the wall for this movie. Movie opens on a stormy city night with a scientist in his lab and what looks like this gay homeless kid just standing around.
Yeah, so like this rent boy shows up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Rent
the funny thing is, like, he actually turns out to be a gay homeless prostitute.
Yeah.
And
He is a rent boy.
Right.
And he looks like he's 16. I
Well,
mean,
is he
looks-
gay? I mean, I think he'll take whatever he can get.
Maybe
for
he's
money.
gay for pay because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
sort of says,
Right.
you know, if you just want to screw, it's the same price as
Yeah.
anything else.
But
Yeah.
then he also says, "I have a throbbing between my thighs" when he sees Rita
Yeah.
or whatever.
So,
So.
I think he may be gay for pay. That's
All
a
right.
good
Yeah,
way of putting
exactly.
it.
Gay for pay. So the scientist drops a few eye drops into gay homeless kids.
Yeah, he basically
eyes.
says, "No, I don't want to have sex. I want to do this experiment on you."
Yeah.
He's got a lab set up. He's got this kind of like a microscope
weird-
set up.
It's I guess yeah. It's some
Telescope,
kind of weird It looks more like a telescope.
yeah.
But
Yeah, but
it's
it's a
microscope.
singular ocular unit microscope.
Right. And he puts some eye drops in his eyes, and the scientist tells the kid that he could be the first person in human history to see into the 8th dimension.
Yeah. Why the 8th dimension? He just.
I don't know.
knows?
We live in the third dimension. We
Right.
we have a third dimension. You know, I mean, it'd be amazing if we could be able to see or experience the fourth. What about the fifth?
Right.
Nope, we're
Nope.
jumping straight to number 8.
Yeah.
Fuck all those other numbers.
And
We're going to 8.
I mean, that whole time I was like, "Where the fuck did they come up with the 8th
I know.
dimension?" Like, yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know.
So in a few moments, the eye drops start causing the kid's eyes to like tingle, and he's rubbing his eyes. And at this point, this blonde one walks in. It turns out to be Rita. And now we said earlier, the gay prostitute's suddenly not so gay.
Yeah.
Because Chris said he's like, oh, I have a tingle between my thighs.
Well, the
Yeah.
doc says you'll start to feel a tingle in your eye, and
Yeah.
once you do, look into this
Microscope, yeah.
right and tell me what you see. And he's like, "Well, I have a tingle between my thighs," and
Yeah.
then you see Rita, and
Yeah.
she's all looking at him like,
Yeah, she's in a little short black dress.
Yes,
Rita-
yeah.
And for some reason, there's gardening lattice. In
Yeah.
there. I don't know what's going on, but it's like this
Decorations
weird.
for the set props for
strange.
this lab are quite strange.
Yeah.
The whole movie is real strange.
Yeah.
It's like they just took a warehouse and broke it down to like walls and plastic to kind of separate
Plastic
the
sheeting, yeah.
So I'll get this out of the way now because it's kind of an ongoing thing. But Rita is basically a nympho in this movie.
Jesus
She
Christ.
is
enough
a
of the cock.
whore.
Man,
She will take any cock, anytime,
Multiple
anywhere.
ones at a time. I mean, she
Absolutely.
is. Yeah.
It's like she's
It's
got
endless.
a fever.
Yeah.
Feel her head. It's burning hot.
Right.
Got the dick
You know, yeah.
So she says that the kid's cute and that she hopes this her husband, the scientist, doesn't blind him like the last one. The two of them step aside and they kind of argue and bicker back and forth.
Yeah, she's like, let's talk about my orgasms. Like,
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
He's like, really? He's like, really? Right now, you want to talk
Yeah.
about your orgasms?
She said she's tired of paying for all the medical and hospital bills of the test subjects and the lack of sex and orgasms they are having or
Yes.
she's
Right.
getting.
Yeah.
And during this arguing, the kid's eyes are beginning to tingle more, and he's looking through the microscope.
And he goes, Doc, it's starting to tingle. I'm thinking, he's right around the corner. He's going,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, Doc, it's starting to work. I feel it. How far away did he go?
I know,
Right,
it-
exactly.
They
He
make it
didn't-
seem like it's like a whole nother like floor of the
Yeah.
whole building, but it should be like 6 feet away.
Right.
Right.
So the kid, yeah, he goes and
Like
looks
this
into
doctor
the-
was like waiting for this moment.
right.
All right. And all of a sudden it's happening, and he's arguing with his wife. He's
About-
not even like
about
paying
sex.
attention.
About
Yes.
sex,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Which, first of all, that fucker, you can't take 10 minutes and bang your wife every once in a while? I mean, son of a bitch, you know?
which
She
the-
is paying for
I
everything.
I have some notes on the scientist later, but all right, Jordan. So the kid's like constantly rubbing his eyes now. He stumbles away from the microscope, falls to his knees. Rita and Jordan are still arguing about how she's never experienced a real orgasm before. And at this point, I'm thinking Jordan might be a closeted gay because he's married to this hot blonde, but all he cares about is his science and these boys he's dealing with. He never wants to have sex with her. I don't know. And he's
Well, he did say we just had sex last Thursday.
He did.
last
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
So we don't know what day it is, but
So we cut back to the kid, and we always see is a shadow of him on the floor on his knees, and one of his eyes is like growing out of his head, and
Like,
just
to the size of a basketball.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's kind of going, and it's weird sound effects.
it was kind of cool. It looked like a balloon.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's like a balloon. It looked like
Yeah.
a balloon
Yeah.
plate. And it's getting bigger and bigger, and the camera cuts back to the other two for a second, and right back to the kid, who's now laying on the floor, and we see something with like tentacles crawling away out of the frame. The camera pans up and over to reveal a giant mutant eye with green electricity
in the pupil.
in the pupil,
yeah.
just standing around. Just like,
And it's this. It's like 8 feet tall.
yeah, easily
Right.
8 feet tall. And it's
Yeah,
like this
yeah.
giant plastic eye. And then the eye is then seen reading a poster of the male reproductive system, which I
I'm
think
confused,
is a
too.
really odd thing to have.
Well, there's a
in your
male
lab.
and female,
Yeah.
but you're like an optometrist type.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Thank you. I was gonna
Yeah.
definitely bring that up. But this and then I was like, maybe he is a closet gay, and this is a way to look at penises if
I
it's
guess.
a reproductive thing.
But it's like a basic anatomy
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
of the reproductive system for the male and female.
And then-
I mean,
yeah.
it's like 8th grade level.
yeah,
Right.
it's
You know,
like,
and
it's
this-
like
Right.
high
Why is it-
school
why-
health class.
Right.
Why is it even there?
Exactly.
That's where I was gonna bring up to talk about that because the eye looks at the male ones, then he goes over and looks at the female reproductive
Like,
system.
okay, balls,
And-
vagina.
exactly.
All right, got it.
Right.
So Jordan then comes back to the microscope. He finds the kid dead on the floor, now missing his left eye. Roll the opening title card in the opening credits, which feature just shots and shots like medical books that deal with the eye, medical drawings of the eye and orbital
Bubbling
area.
chemicals.
Yeah. Right.
And so again, like if Jordan says he's in med school studying to be, if he's studying to become like optometrist or an
Optometrist.
optometrist, yeah, then why? And he's doing these eye experiments again. It begs the question: why does he have these posters of the reproductive system in his lab?
Yeah,
And, like Chris said, because it's totally not. He should
Makes-
have like posters of like the eye, like
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
not like.
He's not going to be a
Dicks and
gynecologist,
vaginas.
you know? I mean, yeah, dicks and vaginas.
So
Marshall makes it sound like there's like
I know.
porn posters plastered all over the walls and shit.
Dicks and
yeah, it's not that bad. No.
I mean, those are like medical.
They are medical charts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, so after the credits, we jump to these two dudes lounging around their boxers, and again, I'm getting a super gay underscore for this whole movie.
I just call them the sock boys. All they wear through the whole film is like
Boxers,
boxer
and
briefs, and white crew socks.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
like the boxer bros is what I
And
call
that's
them.
all they wear.
So they're talking about like crystal meth and these drugs because they're sitting in front of this bowl, like various pills.
Yeah.
Just
that
like
sit on
a
the table from.
like a plate full of drugs.
Yeah,
Of just pills.
And just for you to get an idea of like what we're talking about, and how bad the acting is with these guys, I do have this song to put up, so we're gonna play that right here. So check this out.
Dude, I bought this off this guy with this killer van down in Venice Beach.
Man, that shit looks like buffering, man.
No way, it's like crystal meth. Crystal meth would be like mixed it with Flintstone chewable vitamins.
Yeah? Bam Bam is pretty cool, man. He's a tough motherfucker, man.
Anyway, it lets you see things no one else can see, do things no one else can do.
So, how long does this shit last, man?
All night.
Yeah, so that's that. And can I just say, holy shit!
Right.
Did this guy just steal the magical liquid potion from Egg Shan? Because that's the biggest blatant ripoff of Big Trouble in Little China I have ever heard.
yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Like, is Egg Shan this guy's
All
dealer?
right.
Is he going down to Chinatown to get his fix? What the fuck?
I love it.
Did
I
not
love
put that together, but that was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See things no one else can see. Do things no one else can do.
I'm just waiting for Kurt Russell coming in a tank top,
Talking all John Wayne.
Yeah. So they both pop some pills, and immediately one of them starts hitting himself in the head with a book, like instantaneous high. It's what is going on?
Man,
Must be, those are some powerful pills.
Yeah.
And they work quick.
So Rita comes walking down the stairs, and she immediately starts flirting with the two of them.
Well, and Rita shows up because when she's arguing with Grady, Grady's like, "Why don't you go visit the neighbors? I know that always cools you out." First of all, I got a hot wife. I'm not gonna send her to the two
boxer brief bros.
Yeah. To hang out.
Yeah, they hang around shirtless in their underwear all day.
Yeah, right.
So, and
it was the last place I'd send her.
I mean, I would bend her over and fuck her right there before I sent her to my fucking neighbors. I mean, come on. It's your wife, right?
So, yeah, in which she tells them that her husband said he wants her to be happy, so make me happy, guys. And boom, they start.
Well, she also says, like, I came to ask for a special favor.
Yeah.
And Tom or one of them's like,
Tom and Joe are their names.
We just did 2 special favors for you last week.
Yeah.
Damn.
So again, they already think we just fucked you last week.
This is a theme. They're banging her. She's getting banged by her husband. She's got it bad.
Yeah,
issues.
So we cut
major issues.
So we cut to this other couple getting ready to go out for an evening out in the town, and the girl Jane mentions she can hear people having sex in the other room. Or
they're at it again. Is what she says.
Yeah.
And this is Jane and her husband Morton, and Morton is like Jordan's this doctor's
Jordan
like,
Grady's
assistant. It's basically his bitch.
Like, what a dorky name, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Morton.
sorry anybody out there that may be named Morton.
Sorry,
So Jordan actually just walks into these two bedrooms, and at first it's not thrown apart because I guess everybody just lives together. Cause everybody just walks in and out of everybody's place all the time.
I thought that too. I was like, man, these are really comfortable neighbors. They have no problem with anybody just coming and going whenever they want to.
Loft thing or what's going?
Well, it made it sound like that. Maybe she owned the building. Like Rita owned the building.
Yeah. So Rita's like independently wealthy.
Yeah.
Somehow, because she's paying for. She's paying for all the experiments, so that means she's paying for Dr. Jordan Grady's like research, and he's got employees.
Right.
And his employee has a wife living with him, too.
Right.
So she's got to be rolling in it.
Although, I think, technically, he's not... I don't think Morton's an employee. I think because they are still in med school, I guess he's like...
Well, no, she says that she's like paying Morton, too.
Okay.
Paying the assistant.
I know she's paying the rent and
the
like,
assistant
the bills,
that lives down the street.
And Grady does say, this is my lab, this is my research, and you're my employee, so shut the fuck up.
All right.
Right.
So, I missed that part then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at this point, I'm thinking everybody just lives together in this one massive...
They do, yeah.
Magical apartment. Jordan says he needs Morton's help in lab, and the two of them head out. And in the lab, Jordan tells Morton that the dead body in the lab was a cadaver that he got from like the morgue or this mess or something to try to cover it up.
A fully clothed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
even Morton's like, why does it have clothes on? I put the clothes on so they wouldn't offend Rita with a naked cadaver. What? Like, it's no big deal.
More cock than
Yeah.
Right.
I dressed him up like a rent boy,
KFC or something like that. I don't know. So Morton calls him out on his bullshit, saying that the wound to the body's orbital cavity is fresh and looks like something burst out from it from the inside. And so they bicker, and the two of them pick up the body and just carry it off. Now, we cut to Rita and one of the boxer bros. They're making out on the bed, while other boxer bro sits in a chair with a foot up on the bed, and he's like watching him. He's like, it looks like he's just jerking off. He's just watching him, rubbing himself down and like jerking off watching
He's a voyeur. So that's what he likes to do.
He's jerking off without jerking off.
Yeah.
He's like rubbing his stomach.
Yeah. He's rubbing his stomach and his thigh, his upper thigh.
He's got his
like,
nipple pierced too.
Yeah,
so he's like pulling on his nipple
He's got
ring.
one nipple pierce.
Yeah, right.
Not two, just one.
Yeah, just one.
He's not that gay.
Just
a
left.
little.
It's just a left one.
I don't get it.
Little bit.
Little
bit. So suddenly the giant eye is seen sticking out from like this huge like vent opening, a gigantic vent opening. I've never seen a vent that large before.
And they're all over this apartment building too.
And the view switches to this POV shot from the eye's perspective, and the effects are priceless here.
Terror Vision.
Oh my god, it looks like an old Windows screensaver because what the eye sees is shown in a circular like frame that bounces around the screen like a screensaver, and the
Pong.
background is just black with green electricity zapping.
Yeah. And is that the Terror Vision?
Maybe
because they do say on this film it says the killer eye in Terror Vision.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the Terror Vision.
I wonder if that's the Terror Vision. Yeah.
Oh my god. So, first of all, I'm like, how the hell did these three people not see this 8-foot eye just standing there like?
Yeah,
3
I wonder
feet
that
watching
through this
them?
entire movie, but
Now the one guy does have his back to the bit, but
true.
Boxer Bro 1 and Rita on the bed are like facing this thing, and nobody sees it.
But they're too engaged in the rapture, which is dry humping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's basically Joe just kissing on Rita.
Yeah.
And
She keeps her underwear on. I mean, she's in her underwear. She's in her bra and panties, and I think he's actually without boxers.
Is he?
Pretty
Yeah, I don't know.
Regardless, it's just
I wasn't
like,
looking at the dude, Aaron.
Yeah.
he's in pretty good shape, Chris. Okay, I admire physique.
I will give him that, but I was not staring at his ass.
So now
I
this,
kept waiting for that bra and panties to drop.
I want to
My
see if
fault.
he does squats. That's all. You know?
so the scene now drops into slow motion, and again, I want to comment on just how little these people care about getting caught. Because this bedroom isn't even a bedroom. They're just
It's
a
like a loft.
large
Yeah.
open room
It's
with
just
a
a loft,
bed
yeah.
at the base of a staircase. And I mean, anyone can just walk right in. Any one of the doors that lead in or come downstairs. And for Rita, who's supposed to be married, just I don't give a shit.
They don't even have a wall.
No.
They have plastic sheeting that's hung up.
Yeah, it's like 2x4s with plastic sheeting stapled to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't give a shit about getting caught. And this scene goes on and on.
It goes on for a long
A
time.
long time,
fucking
drawn out.
It's
I'm
like 5
all
minutes
right,
of
we
watching.
get it.
Yeah,
we get it.
You're doing it.
Yeah,
Get it.
I mean, there's one point where the camera jumps from the two on the bed to the guy rubbing himself to the eye, and then it repeats that sequence like several times in quick succession.
With a little bit of Terror Vision thrown in there.
Yeah. And then suddenly, Boxer Bro number 1, who's kissing Rita, says, I need my
I need some rest.
Razatone because he's tapped.
Yeah.
And that's it. He just gets off her back, lays back in bed,
Yeah, he gets her
and
all-
she's like, that's it?
Yeah, he gets her all worked up and then passes out.
And the other guy goes,
And
the
the
guy
other
who's
guy-
just been sitting there rubbing his chest.
yes,
he
yeah,
goes,
me too.
Yeah, me too.
I'm tapped too. And he jumps into bed with the other guy.
And at this point, I'm like, whoa. These guys share a room, share an apartment. There's one bed. They share a bed, too. What is going on?
And they're only in their boxers. They share bed, like, and they're constantly like patting. Like,
Did anybody else, was
yeah,
anybody else bothered by? I mean, what? They share a bed. I
yeah.
mean,
If they do, that's fine, but it's just weird because
Yeah.
they don't seem to be. They're
So
not
again,
gay
I'm
for
thinking-
pay.
No.
It's like, I don't
I'm
understand.
thinking the guy who's watching isn't getting hot off of Rita. I'm thinking he's getting hot off of watching his
Maybe.
boxer bro go to town.
Could
Maybe.
be. Could
Because he
be.
jumps immediately into bed with the guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So I'm just like, what is fucking happening? Because how can they be tapped out when they haven't even done shit? Which we
It's
even
been dry
talked about.
humping.
right.
And so we go back to Jordan and Morton, who's wheeling this large crate around, talking about Jordan's medical breakthrough. The body of the rent boy is in the crate.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly this guy in his striped shirt just pops up out of fucking nowhere
Ah, creepy Bill.
and joins in on a conversation. Yeah, and like Chris said, this turns out to be Creepy Bill, who isn't really that creepy. He just kind of talks like...
He reminded me. He kind of reminded me of Brad Pitt's character from 12 Monkeys. Just like kind of
Yeah,
crazy
I can
and
see that.
kooky and like.
I thought of
Or Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
that was-
yes. He's talking like this a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, guys. Hey, you know, like,
Beetlejuice,
yeah,
dude, definitely.
That's what I
yes,
wrote down.
thank you.
He's a Beetlejuice impersonator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So...
High five.
So the eye is now at the foot of the bed. We go back to the three people in bed.
So a lot of jumping around.
Lodge
Yeah.
around. And one of its tentacles is under the sheet running up to Rita, who's sleeping between the other two dudes.
Yeah, she's the meat in the bro sandwich
Yes, she is.
in the bed.
And the tentacle is like moving around under sheets, and Rita's like moving and squirming in pleasure. And again,
This is one of the scenes from Halloween Haunt.
one of the scenes we saw
Right.
in
and
Halloween.
I remember we were like, let's watch this movie.
Right. Absolutely.
Again, this goes on for a long
A
fucking
long
time.
She's squirming around.
She's
Her-
stroking the tentacle.
Yeah, she's kind of like kissing on it a little bit here and there.
She's got
Her-
a giant smile on her face.
Yeah,
you do see her boobs. So
Yeah,
that's
at
a
this point,
bonus.
you
and then you see like weird pink electricity going to her nips.
Nipples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like little
Like,
little.
yeah, exactly. They're getting shocked, and she's still asleep, even being shocked in the nipple by
So
electricity.
this is the way I thought of it. She's like under this trance of pleasure, you know,
Gotta be.
because she's not waking up. If I can only imagine if she's feeling on a tentacle that's long and she seems to be enjoying it. Most people are like, wow, that's a big, long, weird, wiggling wiener. You know, that's not right.
Right.
So she's got to be in some sort of
Yeah, I mean,
trance.
it's obviously,
Wiggly
I mean, it's
wiener.
not, it can't be a finger, yeah, but it's so long and yeah, it makes zero sense. So eventually,
She's basically getting raped by
Yeah,
the guy. at
But
this
she
point.
seems to be into it.
this movie is about
That is-
90% women getting raped and molested by an eye.
Yes.
That's basically what this movie is.
And there's only 2 women in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually, one of the Boxer Bros wakes up and he sees what's happening. But before he can even shout out, the eye zaps him with a laser into each one of his eyes, causing him to. At this
Convulse
point,
and-
we think either die or just fall unconscious.
Right.
He just goes, and he's done. So the eye goes back to tentacle fucking Rita as,
For another like 5 minutes.
yeah, as the tentacle is then seen licking, quote unquote, her tits. She's again still asleep, even though she's moving all over the place. She's rubbing her hands over the tentacle. She's even at this point, she's even kissing the tentacle.
Yeah.
And we talked about how a bolt zaps her at this point, where she gets zapped in the nipple by a bolt and still stays asleep. And on this scene goes. And I think we've reached like 5 minutes now of this scene.
Really has been, yeah.
I started timing it. It's been a long fucking time. And another bolt zaps Ree's nipple.
Are
Eventually,
you counting the nipple
Yeah,
zaps?
right?
Yeah,
He
I
is.
just,
I mean, his notes are detailed.
Yeah, they are.
I can't believe, like, I don't understand how anybody would sleep through this. That's what I'm just saying.
That's why she's in a trance.
But I don't buy it.
So Joe wakes up.
Yeah,
stares
so
off
eventually the other
eye,
guy wakes up. He shouts out. The eye retreats as the other two wake up. But they just
Which, why didn't the eye just shock that dude, too?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know, whatever.
I guess he screamed and startled it. So I guess, yeah.
But they all immediately just chalk it up to the two bros being wasted. Like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, we're
Well, the best part is
wasted."
Rita wakes up and she's just like, "What? Like nothing happened.
Exactly.
Like nothing has been happening." She
No.
wakes up because the guy screams and she's like, "What? Did you see a bug or something?"
Yeah.
You know,
I'm like,
she's
which one of you was diddling me underneath the
yeah,
sheets? Or
nothing.
No,
nothing
none of
like,
that.
she's just completely oblivious to the fact
Yeah.
that she was getting banged by anything.
Yeah. So, and this is where we learned one of the guys' name is Tom, but we've already covered Tom and Joe. So, back in the lab, Morton is sharing his concerns about having the body stashed up in the attic with Creepy Bill. Jordan
Right.
blows it all off as he explains his medical breakthrough. This is followed by some medical bullshit
Well,
mumbo and
Morton's-
sci-fi mumbo
Morton's
jumbo.
pissed that, like, Jordan essentially made him an accessory to murder. And then Jordan explains, no, I just made you an accessory to the greatest scientific discovery of our time.
Yeah, it's...
We just found the 8th dimension, which, again...
And it's like, it's an eye. It can't be any bigger than a monocule if it came
A
out of
marble.
the...
Is it a
marble?
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 Yeah.
Okay. So, how dangerous can it be? And
he
now-
also goes on and he says that he goes in this long explanation of the data that they recovered,
Yeah.
which at some point during this time he had time to analyze said data.
Exactly, which you
yeah.
never see.
I mean-
You never
this,
see him.
Because
No.
this movie is similar again to the Halloween Haunt because once the action starts, it really just seems a continuation. Like there's no like
Right.
time gaps, really,
No.
not too much.
None. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. Like, when did he analyze this
Yeah.
said data?
that's a good point.
Because he
yeah.
went in and said, I was gone from for it
From like
started
8:18 to 8:23.
Right.
So he was only gone like 8 minutes. And he was able to analyze the data, see what came through.
Something came through,
To
yeah.
see actual,
Right.
tears in reality, da-da-da-da-da.
Right,
He's,
right.
Like you said, he's got a lot of jargon. He's got a lot of stuff that he's talking about. And, yeah, I totally agree.
When
When
did
did
you
he have
have
time to,
time?
like, process this
Yes.
data? Yeah.
Because from what I saw, he found the dead. I call him the hooker boy. But and he sat there and he stared off into space for a long time. The next time you see him, he's in Morton's apartment.
Yeah.
Like, I need your help. We got to move
Yeah.
his body. You know, like,
So, again,
Maybe it was during the credits.
Yeah, maybe it was. Maybe it was during the credits. Oh shit, credit time. All right, let me check this shit out.
So we cut to Jane, Morton's wife. She's working out on a treadmill while the eye's watching her from behind.
Yeah, and she doesn't notice this giant eye
No, she's
behind
got
her.
headphones
Well, she's got
on.
headphones in. I'll let it slide.
And the
Don't you
eyes
feel like something's watching you though?
literally
Like a giant eye.
something's watching me. So the eye creeps up on her, and the tip of its main tentacle is like brushing up against her shoe and her ankle as she walks, and yet she doesn't feel this
Right.
thing.
I was confused. Is he trying to trip her?
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
what's
and I think
going
he's,
on?
at first I was like, oh, he's just trying to like feel up her leg, like
Uh-huh.
It was a weird scene.
Yeah.
And she's got some meaty legs.
She does.
Yeah.
She's got some like hams on her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just not a flattering shot. She's got like cankles and yeah.
But, and then at this point, I'm like, maybe they're not. It dawned on me, maybe they're not really tentacles because it is an eye. So maybe they're supposed to be like the orbital muscles, the optic nerve, or like the orbital stalk or something,
Wow.
or whatever it's called, instead of tentacles.
Marshall is
You're getting
thinking
deep there.
Well, I'm just thinking. Let's think about it. If an eye comes out and it's all that stuff, there's muscles.
It's
and
also 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Perhaps that's its only hand. I don't
Yeah.
know.
all right. Anyway, fuck it. So, Jane stops the treadmill and walks out of the room and into the bathroom where she undresses, and for some reason they decide to put it in slow motion of her getting into the shower.
Well, we get a full frontal there.
Yeah,
And, like,
she's
she
full
did have meaty thighs, but when those clothes came off,
Yeah.
she was actually
Yeah, pretty hot.
fucking
yeah.
hot.
She,
Nice
she
ass.
strips down. She gets into the shower completely naked.
Yeah.
And like Chris said, we see everything, full frontal.
Yeah.
And she starts taking a shower, to which here comes the killer eye.
Yeah, he slithers into the bathroom and
Yeah.
he cuts away again to Rita, who's now dressed, sitting on the edge of the bed, and she gets up while talking to bro dude number 2. Morton enters and comes down the
Joe.
stairs holding some kind of like weird, crappy looking like
Ectometer.
plastic gadget.
Like,
Yeah.
it looked like two like
Looked like the ectometer almost in a way.
cheap fucking like laser guns.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
like, they just
together.
like they just glued them together. They got 2 glowing red tips, and so again, we got Rita say Rita is a fucking
Whore.
cock fiend because
Jesus.
she immediately starts flirting with Morton as soon as he enters the room,
Mm-hmm.
saying that marriage is just a ring and a piece of paper.
It used to be
nothing
fun
two
until
people
Mrs. Morton came
can't
along.
Work
Yeah.
around or something like that, and. Then Joe elegantly speaks up, dude, she wants it. And Morton turns her down. Jumping back to Jane in the shower, the eye's watching her. She turns around and lets out a gasp just before the eye zaps her. And she ever so gently falls against the shower wall with this look of ecstasy in her face. And the eye's tentacles creep towards her and runs up her leg and her body.
Starts diddling.
Starts
Jane.
going to work.
Shower raping her.
Same kind of thing that was going on with
Rita.
Rita. So I mean, it's like it hasn't even been 10 minutes, and we're
Right.
getting another
Eye
like
rape
eye
scene.
Eye rape
bang
scene,
scene,
yes.
Yeah.
which goes on again
For, like,
for a
50
long
minutes.
time.
But hey,
Yeah.
man, I mean, this one at least it's in the shower. We get some like,
At least there's variety, guys.
I mean, it's better than under. I don't know.
It would have been
Took
nice
it
if
for
she
what
would
it
like,
was.
if she was turned around, her chest boobs up against the shower, and I was
Put
like,
him on
take
the
her from
glass.
behind. Like, yeah, that would be good. Just a giant eye over her shoulder.
We actually
Just get
saw the
out.
eye actually penetrate. I mean, I don't know, or at least be down. Why is it so focused on the boobs and not the?
He's still learning.
I
He's still
guess.
learning. That's what it is.
But what it looked at with the chart was not boobs; it was vagina. You're in the wrong spot, homie.
Yeah. I know you're learning, but come on.
Yeah, right.
So back to Morton, who tells Rita that if she gets off his back, he'll forget that he saw her with the
Boxer
what you
Bros.
call it, the Doobie Brothers, because
Yeah, he did say the
he did
Doobie
say the
Brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
she gets upset at this, but Morton just cuts her off because his gadget starts beeping to react when it's pointed at Rita.
At her tits.
Yeah.
It's just I thought it was just her in general, but not her tits, but just
Well,
her.
that's because she was covered in the ecto goo of the eye,
She was
probably.
eye sperm, I guess.
Yeah.
I jizz.
Which bothered me too in a way because Morton was looking for using that thing to find the eye. Well, okay, it was reacting to her. It was also reacting to one of the
Boxer Bros.
Boxer
yeah.
Bros. Oh, this thing must be broken.
We're gonna come to
No,
that right.
it's actually working.
That, right,
They're just
that's coming
idiots.
up. That's coming up. We're gonna come back to that. We are definitely coming back to that because meanwhile, Jane is getting fondled and molested by the eye. She looks like she starts giving this handy, like tentacle, like a handy,
Uh-huh.
like while rubbing it all over her face and her tits. And
yeah.
again, this scene goes on forever,
long
a long time. And eventually, it goes to a blackout, and this brings us to Rita, who is still trying to get Morton to fuck her.
Uh-huh.
And he ignores.
She's persistent.
Yeah, he ignores her, and he follows the gadget over to beeping Tom, who suddenly and violently wakes up gasping, just for no, just and a quick shot of the eye retreating from the shower.
Yeah, it was weird.
So Tom waking up in a gasp, it startles the eye to leave
In like a whole nother room. Wait,
Yeah.
we don't even know like
another part of the building.
Yeah, another part
I
of
was
the
like,
building.
what? I was confused. Unless, you know, because Tom does say like, I felt like my brain was, or my life was being sucked
yeah.
out. or
Yeah,
That's coming
yeah.
up. So
So perhaps the eye was feeding off of Tom's.
Could be.
yeah, so Jane comes out of this sexual trance, and Tom, exactly what you said, just like you said, feels something was sucking the life out of him. And like you said just a minute ago, Morton just leaves saying it's broken. And this is what I want to say. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because exactly what you said, isn't that exactly what you're looking for?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Why the hell would you just leave and not ask him like a follow-up question?
I'm
It's
good.
like, even if they
this
are
thing's fucked up.
Probably
even
doesn't
if they
work.
are druggies, you at least follow like, it's really like, all right, give me what happened, and then you can write out. But Jesus Christ,
You guys are stoners later.
later,
Peace
nothing.
Good sucked.
So Jordan and Creepy Bill, are up in the lab, and Bill says that we should talk about the crate, but it jumps right back to Jane drying off in her bedroom. So it's so many quick cuts here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The eye moves in behind her again, zaps the stereo, turning on some like Marvin Gaye or Barry
Puts
White.
on
sexy
some
music.
slow jams.
Puts on the Quiet Storm comes
And like
on.
she thinks it's Morton.
And she exactly, she thinks it's her husband Morton, and without turning around, gives like, "Oh, where were you? Took so long." Moments passed, giving him shit. The eye moves closer, and we cut back to Rita trying to get the two dudes to bang her again, and they're just saying, "No, man, we're too out of it,
Well,
man."
this bitch just please go buy a dildo.
yeah, exactly. Just,
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
just go buy a dildo and be done with it.
something, or,
Son
yeah,
of a
something.
bitch.
So Jane, still thinking it's Morton, says, "Don't think a little romance will help. I'm still mad at you." And then Tentacle begins to like lick her back and her
Like
and
massage
her
her.
neck
It's
and
like he's
shoulder.
massaging
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, it looks like it's massaging her. And at this point, she's not in a trance.
No.
She's not under any sort
No.
of spell.
She's just lazy and
And
won't
does
turn
that
around.
any way, shape, or form feel like a hand?
No,
Right.
exactly. That's
What
what
is
we're
going
talking about.
on?
It's a fucking tentacle.
Yes.
It's like a floppy sausage. Slapping you in the back of the neck. How are you gonna think that's a hand or a finger?
She doesn't even bother to turn around to
No.
look at him. Or
It goes
anything.
around her neck.
Yes.
It goes around
And
her
she
neck.
even says, "Oh, you know just all the right places
Right,
to touch
touch
me."
me.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Is this bitch serious right now?
So, eventually Morton does walk into the room. Jane's eyes get real wide, big, and she realizes something's not wrong.
What's
right.
behind me?
And Morton sees the eye. He tells Jane, "Don't turn around." But of course she does. The eye zaps her in her eyes with its laser.
Knocks her down.
She falls onto the bed. Then the eye zaps Morton, and it jumps right back to Rita and the Boxer Bros, who Rita's finally given up on trying to get them to fuck her. She's finally thrown the
Done.
towel.
Yeah.
And we go right back to Morton, who now undoes Jane's robe. He takes it and begins to undress himself while the eye
Is-
watching.
Yes.
Whew.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Jane is laying unconscious on the bed while the tentacle rubs over her tits and body, with Morton watching and continue to kind of like undo his shirt.
He just pulls his shirt
He's-
up and starts rubbing his
yeah,
nipples
he stands up and starts
Yeah.
rubbing himself
while the
Wha-
tentacle is zapping her nipples again.
while staring into the eye. So the eye and him are like locked eyes, like, "Bro, we're
Yeah.
on this, we're in, bro.
We're in this, buddy."
And he's rubbing his tits while the eye is rubbing her tits, and they're making this eye contact. It's like, what is fucking happening in this movie?
Right.
It's fucking bonkers.
Like, why wouldn't the eye just possess Morton and have Morton fuck?
Do the work.
Yeah.
Oh. Actually, that's what I thought was going to happen, but
Yeah, so did I.
it doesn't. It does.
So did I.
So Morton ends up knocking over a table lamp, which snaps the eye out of the trance like state, and it flees. Jordan and Bill in the lab, they're still talking about the body in the attic. Morton rushes out of the bed. Oh, you have something?
And Jordan Jordan thinks that Bill is gonna like try to like blackmail him.
Yeah.
So he comes at him from behind with a
Keyboard.
keyboard. Like you're gonna kill the guy with a plastic
Fucking
keyboard.
keyboard.
I mean, seriously, you couldn't find anything else in that whole lab to kill a guy with.
Yeah.
Chemicals,
No.
anything. Yeah.
You're gonna break this keyboard over his head and do what? I mean, seriously.
No, I know it's a great point. Where was it? Morton rushes out of the bedroom, and Jane, again, who has now been basically raped twice, doesn't get upset. She's like, okay, I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah!
She takes a fucking
Right.
nap!
Well, what scares the eye off is that the lamp falls over, like the bright
Yeah.
light
Yeah.
shines into the eye.
Yeah, which affects
Yeah.
the giant eye, and it flees, but
and they both
Jane
come out
is
of it.
like, what is happening? And freaked out. She's like, I'm just going to take a nap.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch a quick 20.
How'd I get here? I
All
don't
right,
know what
sweetie,
happened.
you stay here. I gotta go check on Grady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, babe, come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So then the next scene, the eye is next seen hovering over the crate with the body in it, and its tentacles are doing something with the body because you see the tentacles like hanging over into the crate, but you don't, and it's kind of moving around, but you don't really see what it's doing.
Well, you see it kind of by the kid's eye.
yeah, eventually, I think you do eventually, but at the first, whatever, yeah, he's doing something to the body.
A lot of back and forth, man.
Rita enters the attic with the crate, and she approaches the crate, and the gay homeless prostitute
Hold on.
just
There's a long conversation between Bill and Grady about, hey, don't tell anybody about the body. Don't tell anybody
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the body. Bill agrees. Rita walks in and said, hey, where's that kid you brought in earlier? Again, filthy fucking whore. I mean, she's like looking for any dick she can find. Bill's like, oh, it's in the attic. Grady's like, what the fuck? You just said you weren't gonna say anything. I thought she knew. She didn't know.
That was a great scene.
That was pretty good. Bill's like the saving grace of this movie. I'm sorry.
So Rita then, she enters the act. The gay
The rent boy pops
just
up.
pops up, and he looks completely fine. His eyes back in place, no blood, and she helps him out of the crate while telling him like, "Hey, you're kind of cute,"
And immediately going for that
and
D.
immediately wants to fuck like this 16-year-old boy, and
He's like, oh, you're cold. And that
and
does not
all
bother
he
her.
says is like, I, and she takes his, "Oh, you're shy," well, and then starts feeling him up, and he's just spitting out gibberish.
He's trying to talk. He's trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Basically trying to
I'm
say
a
that he's
stranger. He basically comes out
She's like, I
saying,
like
I'm a
strangers."
stranger to this world. So he's possessed by the eye. His dead body is basically possessed by the eye.
And then Jordan and Bill rush in with flashlights. The light causes the kid to drop out of frame. Jordan is taken aback to see that the kid is still alive, who is now seen twitching on the floor.
Right.
While the other three are talking, the eye just kind of
Not giving a fuck about this guy who came back to life.
Exactly. The eye once again like slivers.
And like Creepy Bill is the only one that finally like said, oh hey, what about that giant floating eye over
Yeah,
there?
because it leaves the kid's body again and just watches the group from like behind a box.
Yeah, it's not hiding.
No, he just and again. I did delete this note because I did write this. How is nobody fucking seeing this thing? It's like 3 feet away. But then, like you said, Bill's like, "Hey, what about that fucking eye?" Right
He's the only one that realizes it.
yeah.
You know.
So, Bill sees the eye. Rita spins around and immediately gets zapped in the eyes by the killer eye's laser, and she starts like everything else, starts rubbing herself again, and she
Getting
starts
all horned up.
Yeah.
and she's walking towards the eye. The eye then zaps Jordan in the shoulder when he tries to stop Rita.
Right.
Bill warns him not to look at it and shines the flashlight right in the eye.
Morton runs in.
Yeah.
Was it Morton?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
then it's
Morton runs in and said, don't look at it, and then shines the light.
Okay,
in
I
the
thought that
eye.
was Bill.
And it's so funny because Jordan gets zapped in the shoulder and he's like, ow.
Mm-hmm.
That stopped him.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a gunshot or anything like that.
No.
It was just like, it was like a push.
It was like,
you know, it was like, ow.
if you get zapped
Imagine-
by static electricity,
Yeah.
but that stops him dead in his
Yeah,
tracks.
it's, or imagine someone like giving you a Charlie horse punch in the shoulder, like you'd go, ow. That was his reaction. He's like, ah.
Yeah. So, Jordan, okay, not Bill, warms in, shines the flashlight on, causing the eye to flee into, again, the giant fucking crevice that is a vent.
Can't they just close those?
Yeah.
You know? Really?
Uh-huh. I think some plywood and some screws. You
Oh,
probably.
yeah,
The eye has no hands to get him off, but every
Right.
time you see the vent, it's just like hanging on like the one little bottom
Yeah.
screw just
Yeah,
dangling there.
just get a drill, Close those
Yeah.
fuckers. Yeah,
What's
just,
some maintenance?
yeah.
huh?
Come on, Rita.
Yeah, right.
Slacking. Where's your maintenance guy?
Excuse me.
Can't
So-
believe there wasn't a maintenance guy in this
Right.
movie. Actually, that would have been perfect.
They
Yeah.
should have been. So Rita, with the eye gone, she snaps out of her trance, and she finally wants an explanation for what's going on. And at this, Morton comes in, and they kind of argue and bicker back and forth over what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jordan blurts out his theory that he has somehow opened a gate to the 8th dimension that allowed the eye to come through to their world. And he also rants how he will not call for help because he doesn't want the government officials to come in and take credit for his work.
Right. He also says that they're all pretty much accessories, and
Yeah,
if they don't
you
want
start-
to get in trouble, then you're gonna have
Yeah.
to help me find this eye.
That's
Yeah.
because that's Rita threatens to walk out. Fuck that, I'm
Right.
out of here, and that's when he starts throwing down the blackmail threats
Yeah,
to everyone
right.
else.
But they're debating on whether or not they need to capture it or kill it. And Morton says something to the effect of, he's from the 8th dimension and he's not friendly. Are you kidding me? He
Right.
seems to be really fucking friendly with the ladies.
He
sure does.
I
He's
mean,
super friendly.
yeah, he seems to be pretty
Actually,
friendly.
Creepy Bill points that out and says that he really loves the human women.
Yeah.
So time passes a little bit here at this point, I guess. And all of them except Jane are in the lab discussing the eye and the plan. And Jordan comes up with the theory that the eye is a hermaphrodite and can reproduce
Yes,
asexually.
he says that he analyzed again. At some point, he had
was-
time to analyze the ecto goo from the vent.
So, here comes your educational moment with horrible horror. Yeah, get learned. I don't know. I'm just.
Get learned.
Here we go. Hermaphrodite facts. The term hermaphrodite derives from Hermaphroditus, the Greek mythological child of Hermes and Aphrodite. Born a handsome boy, he was transformed into an androgynous being by union with the nymph Symmachus. So, basically, what we're doing when we are discussing human hermaphrodites are actually should more probably be called pseudo-hermaphrodites, which is the term used by biologists, or intersexuals, which is the term seems to be preferred by the politically correct circle these days. If we examine the course of human embryologic development, we can see that we are all originally equipped with the potential to form both male and female genitalia, which are actually outgrowths of early types of kidneys. But we only have one set of gonads. During normal male development, the gonads form into testes, the male-based genitalia enlarge, and the female-based genitalia regress. In female development, the opposite happens. Gonads become ovaries, male genitalia regresses, and female genitalia enlarge. Sexually ambiguous individuals develop in a way that both sets of genitalia enlarge. Notice that these individuals still only have one set of gonads. These gonads will either be testes or ovaries, and that they will truly identify the sex of the individual. In some cases, the gonad will itself be ambiguous, thank you, and share historical characteristics of both testes and ovaries. But in this case, it will be able to function as neither. So neither will be working. So the individual that develops is not a true hermaphrodite since they lack any functional reproductive organ. And a fun little note, in Star Wars, the fictional race, the Hutts, are a hermaphroditic species. So there is your education moment for this week's episode.
All right.
Way to go, Marshall!
So Jordan says that he needs to capture the eye and to keep it in a controlled space. So they also come with the theory that bright lights and heat can kill it.
Yeah, so because it's going to dry out the eye,
Yeah,
and
right.
if you look into a bright light, it hurts. There's your pain.
Yeah.
And the heat generated by the lights. What?
Uh-huh.
These are flashlights. These are from a distance.
Yeah.
How much heat is being generated? There might be a little tiny bit. Like this eye is incredibly sensitive to light.
Yeah. So we jump back to the two
They are
closeted.
big flashlights. Though.
They are kind of big.
It's not like you're in there with a pen light.
Well, yeah.
But I
So-
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
We
I
go
agree.
back to the closeted gay bros.
Closeted
Gay bros.
And
Or again,
they're
sharing a
lying.
bed,
They're lying
watching a
in bed
softcore
together.
porno.
Exactly, watching a movie that looks like a porn
In their underwear.
in
Which-
their underwear. Yes,
Pretty sure that that's probably another full moon movie.
it probably is because there's that one point you see
Yeah.
like
and if we want to really do this right,
we have to find that movie.
Find
we
out what
have
that
to
is.
find that movie too.
Son of a bitch! I know we're doing.
Damn it, Marshall.
God damn it! How we gotta do that
Next year.
Next So after a very quick, Bro 1 leaves to go to the bathroom. And I think at this point, I might be wrong, but I think this is the scene where Bro 2 was like petting the head of Bro 1 and like rubbing his shoulders in bed. It's really fucking weird.
There was that was when Rita was in between them. They were like trying to like.
Oh, is that then?
They were
Yeah.
laughing
Okay.
and goofing and like touching each other over the chick.
Yeah, over the chick.
Yeah.
So after a quick cutaway, the group in the lab comes back to Bro 2 Joe, who's lying in bed with the eye behind the TV watching Joe. Joe is looking right at this fucking thing, but he's so high, he thinks it's part of the movie.
And seriously, how good are these pills these guys took? I mean, what they each took one pill.
Yeah, like one pill.
Where can I get this?
Right.
Yeah.
Because the eye slithers.
They even slept it off.
yeah.
The eye slithers its way up to Joe and just hovers over him for a while, and they're making eye contact.
He's like, whoa.
And again, the eye zaps him in the eyes with this laser. Now, Boxer Bro 1, Tom, he comes back in from the bathroom and gets back into bed with Joe, who is stammering on about needing females now.
Females, yeah.
And Tom tells Joe, "Oh, there's one on the TV,
There's
bro."
one on the tube, man.
So Joe gets out of bed. He approaches the TV and like, looks like he's gonna fondle the TV, but really, it's not a real woman.
Not real woman.
And he's like, "Oh, I think Rita's up there." And he goes off in search of Rita. So in the lab, Jordan gives each of them a flashlight and is about to send them all out in search of the eye when Joe enters. Morton decides to tell Joe, "Go keep an eye on my wife, Jane."
He even hands him the fucking
Here's
fucking keys to the apartment.
Which again, like, okay, now they're in two different apartments because earlier it seemed like it's one apartment. Like, I don't understand the layout of this place at all.
Joe gives zero fucks about, or Morton gives zero fucks about Jane.
Yeah.
He does not care about her at all. I mean, he's working his ass off. They don't get to go out. She's getting mad at him.
Right.
When she's getting raped by the killer eye, he's like, "Yeah, you just take a nap, baby. Whatever. I don't care."
Yeah.
Leaves her, and then goes and sends a guy he knows bangs
Hunky-
dudes'
yeah.
wives.
Right.
Hunky Bro and boxers go.
Right.
He knows that's what he does. That's what he does. He bangs wives. He
Dude, what do
gives
you
them
do?
the keys.
What do you do? What do you do, man?
They
I'm
know
a plumber.
because they hear.
What do you do? I'm
they
teacher.
hear it
What do you do?
happening.
I bang wives.
That's
What I do, man.
Yeah.
What's up?
He gives him the keys, and he's like, "Go keep an eye on my wife. She's in bed.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody in."
They're napping.
You
What's
don't even
wrong?
need roofies, dude.
Yeah.
You're
Don't put it in
fine.
her ass, all right? Please don't put it in her ass.
So Rita threat. Oh shit! I lost track of my notes. Okay. So we jumped to Joe entering Jane's bedroom with her sleeping on the bed, and he sits down next to her. She wakes up asking where Morton is, and he starts petting her head, and she's like, "Oh, just give me a glass of water," which he goes and get. In the meantime, Morton and Bill are searching the attic, finding nothing. They turn around and leave. So it's a pointless scene. Like, why even
Right.
have that in the movie in the beginning in the first place? Rita comes down the loft stairs asking Boxer Bro Tom if he's seen anything weird. And she tells him about the killer eye, and he just says he has a killer buzz. And she calls him pathetic.
I think this is like another scene from the Halloween Haunt.
I don't know if this
I
one
think
is.
so. Yeah, man, it was very
Oh,
familiar.
I'm sorry, very quick. 'Cause, yeah, there's a scene where she's coming down the stairs
Yeah,
asking, but
is
it
it-
cuts way before we get into what Tom does.
No, because he says, I don't know about the killer eye, but I got a killer buzz.
Chris has seen the movie 4 or 5 times.
I did.
Yeah, all right.
I did. I have it at home, too. I'm going to go back and watch
I'm
it.
going to say I was probably going to watch it again after this. After this
I wanted to watch it afterwards, but I don't have a copy.
I should have watched it before I came here. But
So she calls him pathetic, and this is what finally seems to snap him out of his high because he's like, "Whoa, dude!" He gets upset. He's like, "Where's Joe? Where?" He gets all pissy.
you can't talk to me like that.
You can't
I'm gonna
come
go
into
find
my
you.
apartment and call me names like that. She didn't call you anything really that horrible. She
Right.
called you pathetic, and you're a stoner with your
Who couldn't get it up,
closeted-
the fucker?
with your weird closeted gay homosexuality.
And he stomps off fucking
Yeah.
looking for Joe.
Look,
Where's Joe?
I need Joe. So he goes to look out for Boxer Bro, and hearing that Joe is with Jane, Tom rushes up the stairs to find him. Like, oh, he's with a woman? Not my watch. And he goes off. So
I didn't put that together, but that's pretty accurate. Yeah, you're right.
So this brings us back to Jane still sleeping on the bed. Joe enters with the glass of water. She gives it to her and begins to massage her.
Massage.
Yeah, and she says, "There's something familiar about this." Well, no shit, it just happened to you like 5 minutes.
You've been
ago.
raped twice already, right?
Let's go for number 3. Let's go for the hat trick. Let's go for the raping hat trick.
Absolutely.
So Morton, and she says Morton would wring both of her necks if he found out about this.
So she doesn't see. She's not putting up much of a fight.
No,
she
she's
is
really
not.
not.
She's not. She's just kind of like, let's see where this goes.
So Joe's just like,
Bitch.
roll over. And wow, she does this while saying, "Listen, I do love my husband." And the camera pans up to Joe, who is now missing his left eye and bleeding from it. The killer eye is seen behind him. Jane screams. Joe falls to the floor dead. Tom comes running in, followed by Rita and the others. They shine the light on the eye. It flees again out of the room. Tom yells, "You killed my best friend, you stupid bitch." And again, I think it's more like, "You killed my secret lover, you bitch."
Right.
So Jordan tells him that the eye has recharged off of Joe's brain matter, that his brain has been sucked dry.
Is he gonna be all right?
So again,
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah.
Dead, you idiot.
how does Jordan know? I don't even know how he's
how
supposed
does he
to
know all
this
these specifics
from his 5
Yeah.
minutes of analyzed
Yeah.
data? So
Yes.
finally, Jordan suggests that they head for the front entrance, and since they have power and the lights on, they have the advantage. And on cue, boom,
There
lights
the
go out.
Yep.
Jordan mentioned that he has a backup power supply in the attic, and that the rest of them should all head up into the lab.
Everybody goes to the lab. Jordan goes to the attic.
Yeah. So Jordan goes to turn the power back on, and he turns around and gets zapped by the killer eye, putting him in a trance. The eye approaches Jordan and gets like face to eye with him, and the camera zooms in on the eye's pupil. Now we cut back to the others in the lab. Jane's asking what happened. Morton at this point explains everything to her, and she's still not very upset. Not
She's
as much
like-
as she
No.
should be.
Yeah, she's
a
like-
little upset, but not anywhere near as
He
much.
must
as she
leave
could
out
be.
the part where she got raped
Twice.
twice
Yeah.
at least around
2.5.
the same time.
She's kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
Killer eye.
And she's still in her robe at this point.
Yeah, she's
Like,
still in
yeah.
the robe.
She didn't
Yeah.
have time to grab a sweatshirt or a hoodie
Like
or
just throw on some
something.
sweats and a
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah,
Right.
nothing.
No.
Yeah.
So Morton at this time suggests setting a light trap for the eye. We'll set it up and trap it in light. And Jordan pops in saying that he can kill the eye by setting off a cross-dimensional time bomb.
Yeah, he comes back from the attic and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna blow it up."
Oh, and by the way, it will only take out 5, maybe 6 city blocks.
City blocks. yeah.
What the hell?
And on top of it, he's going to use Rita as bait.
Fate. Yeah.
And
It seems to be attracted to you. Well, she's like, I'm real
So-
flattered, but
Okay, back it up. 5 or 6 city blocks. He says, "I'll set the timer and we'll have about 5 minutes
to run
before
6
it
blocks.
explodes."
we should have plenty of time to get away from
The
all
blast radius, yeah. Who the fuck are these people? What is going? And everyone's like, "Yeah, that sounds about right."
Yeah, so yeah.
That's cool.
But to make it even worse, there's more to it. That makes it worse because after Jordan's like, "All right, I'm going to take Rita up to the attic. You stay here because she's our bait." No one argues about blowing up 6 city blocks.
No. No.
No one even suggests Martin's plan. Like, hey, you know what? Martin's got a plan too. Maybe we try his first.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
instead we blow up half a city.
Yeah,
Just
no.
kill thousands of people.
Yeah.
And the fact Rita doesn't even object, and she's the one being used for bait who gets left behind in the explosion.
Yeah.
It's like, you stay here, we're gonna run and blow it up.
Yeah.
Which means you're getting blown up too.
Yeah,
And
that-
she's like,
Not a
okay.
well thought out plan at all.
No one.
Jesus Christ.
Not to
Everyone just kind of
mention-
goes, "Yeah."
Not to mention that his trans-dimensional bomb is nothing more than a stopwatch.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, my thought was maybe it's like the timer or the detonator or something.
I thought the same thing at first. Like, is he really
Yeah.
thinking this is supposed to be the bomb? Like, it's a stopwatch, and they're like, okay, he's gonna use that to time the getaway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I didn't think of it as the actual bomb. Because it's a goddamn stop. It's so obvious it's a fucking stopwatch.
Yeah. So up in the attic, Rita, out of fear, fear of death, tells Jordan that she hasn't been the most faithful wife and that he hasn't been the most loving husband.
pretty sure this is also.
And
a
this
scene.
is exactly a scene from
Yeah.
the,
Halloween
Howlin'
Haunt.
Haunt. And I pulled that clip again just so you can see the ridiculous acting and just how bad this is. So, all right,
Get
check
a
this
load
out.
of this.
Jordan, I'm scared.
Don't be afraid. I haven't had anything happen to you.
You know, I have a confession to make. I mean, since we might be getting blown to bits and all, I haven't been the most faithful wife in the world.
I know.
And you know, you haven't been the most loving husband.
I know that too.
And I was thinking maybe we should get a divorce.
So,
What
holy-
the fuck?
I don't know.
Exactly. Holy shit, that has got to be the worst time to tell someone you want a divorce, especially when that person is basically gambling with your life.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to see you anymore.
Yeah, I've been cheating on you. You
At
really
that
haven't
point,
paid
you're like,
attention to me.
Why would he, like, you're just asking to be left to die now. I was like,
Why doesn't he just kill you now?
yeah, like, why not? You should have waited till, like, I don't know, maybe after this is over to say, you know what? Now,
Well, after this is over, she's gonna be blown to bits, apparently. So,
Well, who
Yeah.
knows?
but then he starts making out with
yeah,
her.
they immediately start kissing.
Yeah, he's just like, she's like, I want a divorce. And this inspires him to plant such a kiss that she's like, wow.
Like, never been
Shaggy?
kissed before.
Yeah, like, this is the most amazing kiss I've ever had.
Yeah.
She's like, wow. And he goes, you like that? She goes, yeah, that does it for me. And then he drops to his knees.
Yeah, because it looks like he's
and
gonna go
looks
down
like
on her.
he's going down on her.
And that's when we see tentacles rising up from the bottom of the screen, and then Jordan suddenly pops up like
Yeah.
6 feet away.
But she's still
And she's-
kind of oblivious to it.
And he's
still
like,
kind of
he's like looking at her like,
Yeah.
you know?
Mad
It's
scientist.
almost like he's doing like the
Exactly.
Mr. Burns, like,
Yeah.
like
Excellent. Yeah.
So, excuse me. This time, Rita comes to very quickly. This time,
Yeah.
she snaps out pretty quick, and Jordan tells her, "Wait, don't be afraid of the eye. That it has certain needs, and it asked him to help. Sorry, it asked him to help it. In exchange, it's going to help me. So they're gonna, like, tit for tat, favor for a favor." And Jordan tells her that the eye is going to tell him how to open the gate between their dimensions. And
So so basically Jordan's like in cahoots now
Right.
with the killer eye.
Right,
Yes.
right.
And he
Which
also,
is weird because like he got possessed by the eye, but he didn't like get overtaken by the eye. Somehow the
So
eye
apparently
decided,
they've been communicating.
I
Yeah.
guess like that
So-
when they were going staring at each, like the eye was like reading his mind somehow now, or, like saw
telepathically
his thoughts.
communicating.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, oh, you
Yeah.
I
you can
need
help
you
me
on
here.
my side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
This
he
is
also
weird.
tells her that the eye is not here by accident. That is actually the head of an invasion fleet. That is said in this movie. The eye is
Yeah.
the head of an invasion fleet
From the
Yes.
eighth dimension.
from the eighth dimension.
Yes. Makes
Rita's
total sense. What?
it makes total sense. So
Come on, guys.
Rita
Yeah.
says it'll be hard for the eye to take over the world with one of her 3-inch heels sticking out of its face. Back in the lab, Bill says this looks like the intergalactic bomb thing that Doc had. And I
If he's
it's like,
taking-
oh, you mean this cheap plastic stopwatch? But at this point, I said, oh, thank God. At least Morgan says that's just a stopwatch. So, like, okay,
Yeah.
at least that didn't go
Happen,
through.
yeah.
Because that would have been
He
a little
didn't
too
notice
hard.
that from the beginning. though.
Right.
Yeah.
And what was Bill taking hits off of?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
sucking like off some
Chemicals
black rubber
random-
tube out of
yeah.
something.
Random shit.
Random chemicals
Yeah,
in,
he's going,
in a
laboratory
med
and
lab.
sucking
Who
on it.
is Creepy Bill? Who?
We need Creepy
dude.
Bill's backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a Creepy Bill movie.
I mean,
Creepy Bill is an interesting character.
he was the saving grace, though. I'm sorry.
So,
I think the titties were.
this
Honestly.
yeah. That and yeah.
and this is when they realized Jordan was lying to him, like, oh shit, that's just a stopwatch. And so they all rush off to the act to find Rita. And in the act, Rita rushes over to join them as they enter. Tom yells out, "That's my wife, you bitch," and rushes the eye. And again, like, who the fuck is he talking about? And again, like, were Tom and Joe secretly married and Joe was the wife in that situation?
Did he
Because
say
why
my
would he say
wife?
that? Yeah, I watched it like 3 times. Like, that's my wife. Like,
Seriously?
That's what I got. Unfortunately, this
I
doesn't
didn't-
have subtitles because I tried. The movie didn't. My version doesn't have subtitles.
This is like the
I didn't hear him say wife. But
I don't remember that either. So
He
Tom
says that
runs
was
up-
my something, and like he didn't say
That was my. You killed my best friend. Is that what he said?
that was in the bedroom. That was in the bedroom.
But didn't he come back up and say you killed my friend? Or
I
I don't
swear
think
he said.
that
I
that's
swear
my wife.
he says wife.
Hmm.
If you have to watch it, maybe I have to go back. But I've watched it 2 or 3 times. And I got wife out of it.
Hmm.
So, all right, fuck it. Anyway, so the eye zaps Tom, and he begins to like distort and glow with this bright light, and finally he just vanishes into thin air.
So we don't really know what happens to Tom.
No.
We just assume he's dead because he's just
was
been
he
vaporized.
disintegrated?
Or was he teleported? Yeah, we don't know.
We don't
he's
know.
just gone.
Right.
So Morton shines the light on the eye, causing it to flee into the vents again. Which, again,
Close the goddamn
yeah,
vents.
Yeah,
you
right?
guy, you know what its track record is here.
Yeah.
Light, flee into vent. Okay, maybe we should close the vents
It's
up
like
by
a
now.
fourth
Right.
time this has
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Something a little bit more sturdy than just some fucking vent guards. You know,
Yeah.
fucking put some plywood over it.
Yeah.
So they run back to the lab where Jordan chases after them, saying that they're gonna ruin everything. That don't hurt the eye, you'll ruin everything. In the lab, Morton gets hit in the arm by an eye laser and knocks him down or something. Bill
eye
rushes in to shine his light on the eye, but gets zapped in the head. And just like Tom, he starts distorting before
Vanishing.
vaporizing in a ball of light.
Oh, poor Bill.
Rita turns on like a floodlight or something.
Yeah, she turns on like the emergency lights. So you know how like when your
But,
power
like-
goes out and there's
But they're like construction zone lights. Or
Yeah,
something, like
and
those big
they're-
like floodlights.
and the eye is now frozen.
Yeah, it
Trapped.
can't move out of this light. Every other light's been on, it can run from, but apparently this one, it just
Somehow.
At some
traps
point,
it in-
at some point, they had time to fill up their trap, or you
Yeah,
know, like make the
we don't.
trap.
Why?
I guess
I
yeah.
don't understand why the eye can't move out of this light.
Exactly.
He's moved out of every other light. All of a sudden, she turns on a bigger light, but it still casts a certain radius. It can move out of
Yeah.
it, but it's stuck.
Mhm.
It's trapped.
And okay. And she spouts out the one-liner. I bet you're wishing for some Ray-Bans now.
Ray-Bans.
And
Pretty good one.
I wish I would have gotten this clip because what Morton says to the eye and the way he tries to say it, I really wish I recorded that clip because his acting is awful in this
Yes.
scene. And he says, "That's right." I'm referring to, I bet you want Ray-Bans. That's right. You're gonna die here. You only have one choice: go back to your dimension and stay back, or die, or something like that. And it's awful. Die.
And this is the thing. How do they know it can even go back?
Yeah.
How it's a
They have not studied this very much yet. This dimensional travel.
It's an 8-foot eyeball. How it's right next. It's back in the lab. It's right next to the microscope where it came from. The microscope. It's supposed to go back to the micro. What? How?
Yeah.
What is going on? I don't.
So the green eyes electricity is seen like zapping that microscope you're just talking about,
Right.
from which it came out of. Jordan runs in yelling, "Wait, take me with you!
Take me with you!"
And he runs up to the eye like he's gonna like he's running through a field of daisies or something like that. Like,
He
he's
does
running.
Arms
Jump.
outstretched. Yeah.
It's like a frozen
Yeah,
jump.
like
move, and
swan
it
legs
suddenly
playing in the
disappears.
background
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. And he leaps into the air, and as his body hits the microscope, it doesn't knock the microscope on the floor and send anything come out. No! The microscope vaporizes Jordan into thin air, and I guess he's supposed to get sucked into the microscope, but it just looks like he just disappears.
Yeah, it's not a good effect. Yeah.
And again, the eye is seen again, and this time more electricity is zapping around it, and in one of the worst special effects I have ever
I love it.
seen.
I love it.
The quote-unquote portal to the 8th dimension opens, and we
Open.
see
Yeah.
dozens of eyes standing in front of a pyramid.
right?
And it's a drawing.
Yeah, and the portal closes, the eye is gone.
It's a drawing.
So
like
the 8th dimension is just a hand-drawn picture of Egypt with a bunch of eyes.
like someone like someone got like a Crayola magic marker set
Yeah.
with only 8 colors and drew this picture
and then held
on
it
a
in
piece
front of a
of like
camera.
white construction paper, held it in front of a camera, and there's your 8th dimension.
Pretty sure that photo is on the back of the DVD.
It is on the back of the DVD.
It is. Yeah.
It's
Horrible.
wow. At that point, seriously, I was watching this, and I had my hands on my desk, my elbows were on my desk. Both my palms were on my head. I'm just looking down. It's like, oh my god, I can't just. I like face palm.
I couldn't believe
Double
it. I was,
face palm,
I was
yeah.
like, what?
So Morton, Jane, and
I
Rita.
felt like Scooby.
Yeah.
You know, like finding out it was Old Man Withers who like haunted the
old
Yeah.
house. So Morton, Jean, and Rita gather around and say, "Hey, at least it's all over."
Oh.
And then on that cue, the girls place their hands on their stomach as noises are heard, and they look like they're in pain from
And
like
there's, like,
menstrual cramping.
Electricity sounds from the
And
eye.
the image of the eye fills the screen. Roll credits. That's the motherfucking killer eye. Pregnant some bitches and then disappears.
Disappear.
Just like a man.
All right, so go into favorite kills.
Seriously?
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
Really, there's like dick to choose from this, but we always do this. So what we got? Let's talk about it.
I guess my favorite was Tom. He's running up. You killed my. Who knows? Maybe his wife. Maybe his best friend. But he was so full of passion. He wanted to get revenge. He's wearing socks and boxer shorts, and he's gonna go kick that eye's ass. And he gets zapped and taken away. But that was my favorite kill.
All right.
Maybe the boy hooker.
Boy hooker in the beginning.
That brought the eye to us in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know because the kills sucked.
They're
so
awful.
fucking
Yeah,
bad.
they
The kills in Halloween Haunt were so much better.
Way
Oh
better.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, they both suck. I was thinking, I kind of thought that the beginning, just because it's the first kill, to get the ball rolling. But I'm going to go with whether it was Tom, or I guess it was Tom, the one who gets at the last of the box of bros that get killed because it gets evaporated. Because I just like the evaporation was like, oh shit, really? Like what?
Right.
Because as bad and wacky as this movie is, like that was like just kind of whatever.
Why wasn't he doing this from the beginning?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you could just kill
Why
all
wasn't
the
he just
guys
picking off
right
the
from the
men?
beginning, and then
Exactly.
just kind of rape the girls till
Yeah.
whatever he wanted to do.
He could have done whatever he wanted.
Tell
Yeah.
everyone.
You could have them both in the shower.
Yeah.
You could have seen both full
You
frontal.
could trans both of them, had like a little three-way or
Could have been a
something.
weirdo eye porn. You know?
All right, so moving on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
Ratings, IMDb gives it a 2.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no official tomato meter score, but it does have a 28% audience score.
Wow.
And Amazon, holy fuck, gives it a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
You gotta be shitting me.
Nope.
That's a big one.
Really?
Granted, there weren't a whole lot of reviews, but the average was still 4 out of 5.
Oh, all right.
Moving on to plot keywords. First one, homoeroticism.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
There is.
Sexually frustrated female.
Yep.
Monster fondling a woman. And laser beam. I can't believe they didn't throw an hermaphrodite into
Right,
this.
yeah.
Like,
Somewhere,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So that's my pick. What you have a plot keyword to add? What one plot keyword? What would you add?
Well, I guess I would put in Boxer Bros.
Boxer
or-
Bros. All right, and Chris.
Whore.
Horror. Simple
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Nympho horror. All right.
Dick hungry.
Jesus. Dick hungry.
Dick
yeah.
hungry.
Hashtag I need the cock.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so we are in for a treat, though. We do get to play today. We do get to play the budget game.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Snappity snap.
It's now time to play everyone's favorite game. Guess the budget.
All right.
Oh, snap. Seriously?
1 year anniversary budget game style.
Okay. 1 year anniversary.
I don't know what that means nothing really in the grand scheme of things, but anyway, Chris,
have
what?
you not got to play the budget game the past couple weeks?
We've actually struck out on a few.
Yeah, we struck out a few of them.
Yeah.
So, Chris, up first, what is your guess for the budget of The Killer Eye?
If this movie was more than $750,000, then please kill me.
So,
Let
Chris,
the eye evaporate me into the 8th dimension.
so Chris, your guess is 750.
750.
Okay, and Aaron, what is your guess?
I think money went a little bit further in 1998 or 99, whenever this movie was made. So I'm gonna go 100,000.
100,000. Whew. Close. This is neck and neck. But if I'm going to do this, we're not going who did over because we're just going who got closest.
Yeah.
By a margin of $50,000, Aaron wins the
Hey!
budget
Whoa,
game.
nice.
The budget was $400,000.
So we're basically we're essentially in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he was 50. You were an even 300,000. He was 350,000 over. So
Yeah.
All
you
right.
win. And
Wow.
coincidentally, because you said you didn't have a copy of Killer Eye Halloween Haunt, guess what? You just won one to win the budget game.
Oh.
I know what I'm watching tonight.
I think we're all watching
Absolutely.
that tonight.
Fuck Game of Thrones.
But Fear the Walking Dead, dude.
All right, moving on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
All right, there's only one 5-star review for this movie, and just from Chris Ross. Simply reads, "Disc works great. Love Full Moon franchise. 5 stars."
Disc works great.
He does have a point about the Full Moon franchise, though.
Yeah.
We have a whole list of those on my queue to possibly do for this show. They're all lined up. There's one 3-star review that I thought was kind of worth reading from Dustin, and this is the title of his review. "It's okay and it's quite erotic, which I only bought for humor purposes only because it sure is funny."
That's the title.
That's the title of his review. So
That's like a whole review.
yeah, the
Yeah,
review
pretty
itself is,
much.
"The movie is really good and full of humor, so this is an interesting gem to add into your collection. However, the movie bought has no rating on it whatsoever, so as you can all tell, obviously this movie is not for kids or anyone under 18 to be truthful. This is just mostly straight erotica, and there really is no men with other men in it. Just to clear this up, people who are expecting it, because to be honest, I was, and it was what it is. Even though it's unusual for a David Cat, the director's name, film, 3 stars." So I'm thinking this guy, he wants some
Wow.
gay man-on-man
Yeah,
eroticism in this
man-on-man
movie.
shit.
He one of those boxer bros that get real.
Yeah, he did.
They get
Yeah.
down.
That's exactly what I thought. So that does it. Let's wrap up. Let's go in final thoughts here. Final recommendations, everything. Chris, why don't you lead us off?
Well, Sarah wanted to be here tonight.
Yes. Let me cut you off there because I wanted to say this at the top of the show, but I was so excited I forgot. Yeah, Sarah wanted to be here but could not, and also family member of the show, Coffee Doug Jones, wanted to be here, but his girlfriend's family, her father's going through some health issues, so he cannot be here. So we do send our regards and
Absolutely.
everything, our best wishes out to him, and he'll be back with us soon. So I meant to get that out earlier, forgot, but there it is. So continue on, Chris.
Either way, she thought that this was nothing but softcore porn. Like, that's all it was.
Yeah.
And I have to somewhat agree with her. The acting sucked. There was no real kills. No, like, damn it, I just wanted, like, the eye to, like, blow somebody up.
Exactly. Like,
something,
in Halloween Haunt, he just, like, blew the head off of one girl.
Do something, you know? There were some boobs. There was full frontal.
Yeah.
So that was decent. But the only saving grace, in my opinion, was the creepy Bill, because he was funny.
He was a weird character. Yeah.
I still gotta say, so bad it's scary though.
You're going scary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted it to be better because I loved.
I know,
loved
we
Halloween
so
Haunt.
much hype about this.
I loved Halloween Haunt,
So-
and I was so pumped about it. But
I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask a follow-up question here. Is it you? So you think Halloween Haunt, the movie that's an ad for this movie, basically is the better movie?
yes, absolutely.
Yes. So Halloween Haunt is
Absolutely.
better.
It's almost like they made this one, and then they were like, "Fuck, we got to do something better to try to."
We
Let's
put
redo it.
$350,000 into this movie.
Right. We got. I also feel the same way about like Evil Dead, and I'm just going off a little tangent.
Yeah, that's fine.
The first Evil Dead was like a project, right?
Right.
Right.
When they made the second one, it's like they took the exact same storyline.
Yeah.
Like, Ash, why are you going back to this cabin? You don't want to go back to this cabin.
Everything's going back the
It just
same
felt
way.
like- it felt like, yeah, all right, we kind of didn't do what we wanted to do in the first one, so let's make a sequel and act like nothing happened. You
Right,
know?
right.
And that's kind of the way I feel about this, and this movie sucked.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Aaron.
So I really didn't even see this as a horror movie. I
Yeah.
thought it more of as like a
Right.
science fiction.
Yeah.
Science fiction softcore.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree with you. Again, something else I meant to say at the beginning, but I just slipped my mind. Totally agree. It is like really more of a softcore sci-fi movie. It's
And-
weird.
We've seen Halloween Haunt first.
Yeah.
We saw what was being portrayed to us. It was basically an ad for a movie.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to judge this film just standalone by its own.
Okay.
And standalone by its own without even trying to consider Halloween Haunt in the picture, trying to get, to be perfectly honest, it's so fucking weird. I kind of love it. You know, it's so bunk. An 8-foot eye, killer eye coming out of the 8th dimension. I actually thought it's unique. I thought it was kind of fun and bizarre. I'm going to say so bad it's good.
So bad it's good for Aaron. And Final Fury is worse or better than Halloween Haunt?
Now, between the two movies, there's a very rare where the sequel is better. The sequel was better. Halloween Haunt was fantastic.
Yes.
It was, that was a horror movie because it had elements of the black arts with the crystal ball. It had the possession of the TV. It had murders.
It was more horror-esque.
You know,
It wasn't great horror, but it was definitely more horror
and it was
than this
so
one.
much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Like the lines.
And it has provided us, like, our grouping.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
you guys don't listen, our Moon Goons, you don't know us that well, but in our little circle, like, it has supplied us with hours and hours of comedic quote material that we can't stop quoting that movie.
Let's rub donuts.
Shut your whore hole.
Shut your whore hole.
We'll punch you in the cooter.
Punch you in the cooter.
I was just about to say that. Damn it, you stole it from me.
For me, I did the same thing you did. Like, I had to separate the two. Like, as a standalone feature, what I watched this game, is it so bad it's good, so bad it's scary? I'm gonna say so bad it's good, but barely.
Oh, just makes the cut.
Just barely.
Thank
just
you.
because
Thanks, guys. Stand alone.
it's all right. I've stood alone before. I stood alone with Alice in Murderland. I still
Yeah.
stand by that one.
Oh wow.
That was awful.
So I agree. It's fucking insane bonkers what happened to this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you need to see it just want to say you have seen this spectacle, and then you never watch it again. But at least I would say watch it once. Plus, it's only like barely an hour long.
Yeah.
But just like everybody else, it is Halloween Haunt is by
Way
far
better.
more entertaining. That's one you can watch. Like I said, Chris, we both watched like 4 or 5 times.
Oh man.
Well, I think we're all gonna go home and watch it
Yes.
right
If
after
you have
this.
to choose between watching one or the other, please do yourself a favor and watch Halloween Haunt. Killer Eye, Halloween Haunt.
Or if you're gonna watch this one first, and then watch Halloween Haunt. Don't watch Halloween Haunt
way
first.
more
'cause
happier.
We had it so built up and hyped in our minds that it was a
Absolutely.
little of a letdown for us.
Absolutely.
But that's it. That's gonna take care of us for this week.
1 year anniversary special.
All right, Moon
Congratulations.
Goons, thank
That
you
was
very much
awesome.
for 1 year of listening and support. You know where to follow us. Follow us on Facebook. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. We're on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary. We're also on Instagram under Horrible Horror Podcast. You can download and listen to us on Podbean at horriblehorror.podbean.com. And you can subscribe to us, 5-star, like us, do all the good stuff. Download and like on iTunes as well. Thanks for 1 year. Here's to another year of shitty horror movies. So we're looking forward to it. Peace out, Moon Goons.
All right.
Later.